My name is Commander Elias Trent, Earth Expeditionary Corps, year 2276. I used to believe humanity was alone in the universe, arrogant, loud, and destined to spread across the stars. That belief ended the day I met the Queen of the Verilians, and heard the words that changed everything. You will marry my daughter, human. It began on the outer rim of the Kepler 91 system, aboard the research vessel Argent Dawn. We'd come to investigate a gravitational anomaly near a red dwarf star. What we found instead was a vast, crystalline structure floating in the void, a city suspended in space, glowing like frozen lightning. Our scanners couldn't penetrate it. No radio signals, no life signs, just silence. The captain ordered me and my team to investigate. I still remember the feel of my suit locking into place, the hum of the thrusters, and the black emptiness around me as we approached that alien city. When we touched down on its surface, the material was cold as glass but pulsing faintly, almost like a heartbeat. My partner, Lieutenant Rahim, muttered, "It's alive." I laughed it off, but inside I felt the same. Then something happened. The moment my boots touched the ground, light rippled beneath me. The air shimmered and suddenly my mind filled with sound, whispers, impossible music, fragments of voices not my own. Before I could react, the structure opened. A passage appeared out of nowhere, beckoning us inward. We entered. The walls glowed with shifting colors, pinks, silvers, deep violets. Symbols danced across the surfaces, alive and changing. Then we reached the heart of the structure, a vast chamber like a cathedral made of stars. And there, suspended above a glowing dais, was her. A being of light and shadow, humanoid yet not. Skin of iridescent scales. Eyes that reflected galaxies. She radiated power, beauty, and something deeper, sorrow. We froze. None of us moved. Then she spoke. Not through sound but directly into our minds. You have trespassed upon the sanctum of the Verilian Empress. I dropped to one knee before I even realized it. The psychic weight of her presence was crushing, divine. I am Queen Serathra of the Ninth Star. Who dares approach my throne? My voice shook. Commander Elias Trent, representing the Terran Coalition of Worlds. We come in peace. She studied me for a long time, though study isn't quite right. It felt as though she read me, my thoughts, memories, everything. Then her eyes softened. You are different, human. That was the first time I saw emotion in her. The second came moments later, when the entire chamber shuddered violently. A wave of psychic pain tore through the air. The queen staggered. The crystals dimmed. I rushed forward instinctively to steady her. My hand touched her arm, and an electric connection flared between us. In an instant I saw everything. A civilization dying, a war against a parasitic race called the Kthar, a dying sun, and a prophecy of an outsider who would bind the bloodlines and heal the stars. When the vision faded, she looked at me with tears, real liquid tears, glimmering like mercury. It is you, she whispered. The prophecy is true. Middle. The queen ordered her guards to escort us deeper into the sanctum. My team was terrified, but she kept her gaze fixed on me. Hours passed, or maybe days. The Verilians didn't measure time as we did. I learned that her people were ancient, older than Earth's written history. Their empire once stretched across 6 galaxies, but the Kthar, shadow creatures that consumed life energy, had decimated them. Only one city remained. This one, hidden in a pocket of folded space. Queen Serathra's daughter, Princess Seraphine, was to inherit a dying empire. But the prophecy said her union with a soul born of water and carbon would bring renewal. To the Verilians that meant a human. And so, when I was summoned before the queen again, she stood tall, regal, and declared, "You will marry my daughter, human." My mind went blank. I beg your pardon. You heard me. The bonding must occur soon. The convergence is near. Only through union will our fate change. Lieutenant Rahim choked on his breath behind me. She's asking you to, what, marry an alien princess? The queen's eyes flashed. I am not asking. There was no room for debate. The queen believed this was destiny, and that refusal would doom both our species. I was confined to luxurious quarters, not a cell exactly but a gilded cage. Varillian attendants studied me constantly. They took samples of my DNA, measured my aura, even recorded my dreams. Their technology was so advanced it bordered on magic. Energy manipulation, genetic resonance, telepathic harmonics. Then I met Seraphine. She appeared one night, stepping through a door of light. She was radiant, more human-looking than her mother, with luminescent skin and flowing silver hair. Her eyes were calm, curious, sad. "I am sorry," she said softly. "My mother believes this is necessary." "Do you?" "Yes." She hesitated. "I don't know, but our people are fading, and your presence has awakened something." She touched her chest. "When you entered the sanctum, the heartstone pulsed for the first time in centuries." She showed me the heartstone, a massive crystal core at the city's center, pulsed like a heartbeat matching mine. The Varillians interpreted it as a sign that my existence was somehow bonded to their fate. Over the following weeks, Seraphine and I spent time together. We spoke of Earth, oceans, sunsets, music, things her people had forgotten. In turn, she told me of the Varillians' history. Beings of pure energy who had chosen to anchor themselves to physical forms to experience emotion. That choice made them powerful, but also vulnerable to despair. And they were despairing. Their children were few. Their light dimmed with every passing century. I began to understand why they were desperate enough to believe in prophecy. Still, I couldn't accept the idea of being forced into marriage, until the Kthar attacked. It was like watching a nightmare unfold. The void around the sanctum split open, and black tendrils poured through, devouring light itself. Alarms echoed in frequencies my ears couldn't even hear. I saw Varillians fall, their bodies turning to dust as the shadows touched them. The queen fought back, wielding energy like a god, but she was overwhelmed. The sanctum trembled. Seraphine was beside me, terrified. "We must go. Now." We fled through corridors of collapsing crystal. My comms buzzed with static. Earth Command was trying to reach me, but the fold space interference made contact impossible. Then, amid the chaos, the queen appeared again, wounded but radiant, eyes blazing with determination. "There is no time. The heartstone must be sealed. Only the Union can activate the defense matrix." "I don't understand," shouted. "What does that mean?" She stepped closer, placing her hands on my shoulders. "When a Varillian bonds with another being, their life energies merge. It will awaken the Heartstone's power, enough to drive back the Kthar. You are the key, Elias Trent. You must marry my daughter." Seraphine's eyes widened. "Mother, do it, or we all die." The queen placed her crown, a shimmering band of living crystal, upon her daughter's head, then turned to me. "Will you accept this burden, human?" My heart pounded. I was a soldier, not a savior. But as the sanctum shook around us, and the shadows devoured everything, I knew there was no choice. "I accept." The queen's lips curved into a faint, weary smile. "Then so it shall be." She raised her hands, and light consumed us. "The Union. I remember standing within the Heartstone chamber. Seraphine and I faced each other, surrounded by spiraling energy. The queen chanted in a language older than stars. My body tingled, every atom vibrating in harmony with hers. "Do you, Elias Trent, bind your soul to mine?" Seraphine asked, her voice trembling. "I do," I whispered. "And do you, Seraphine of the Ninth Star, accept this union to bridge the worlds?" "I do." When our hands touched, light exploded outward, not blinding but pure. My mind filled with visions. Galaxies being born, civilizations rising and falling, infinite lifetimes compressed into a single heartbeat. Then silence. The Kthar screamed, and were obliterated by a wave of energy that erupted from the Heartstone. The shadows burned away. The sanctum stabilized. When the light faded, I collapsed. My vision blurred, and the last thing I saw was the queen kneeling beside us, whispering, "It is done." Ending. When I awoke, time had no meaning. The queen was gone. Seraphine sat beside me, her hand on mine. "She gave her life," she said softly. "The energy release destroyed her body, but her essence remains within the Heartstone." The sanctum was quiet, alive again, its crystals glowing gently. The Kthar threat was gone for now. But something inside me had changed. I could hear the pulse of the city, feel the flow of energy around me. The union had altered me on a fundamental level. Part of me was now Virilian. I could sense Seraphine's emotions as if they were my own. "We are bound," she said. "Our lives are one." For weeks, we rebuilt what was left of her people. Only a few hundred Virilians survived. They revered Seraphine as their new queen, and me as her consort. It was surreal, being worshipped by beings who had once considered me an insect. At night I dreamed of Earth, of oceans and blue skies. Seraphine saw those dreams and wept. "Your world must be beautiful," she said. "Perhaps one day our people will walk beneath such skies." That day came sooner than I expected. When communication was finally restored, Earth Command detected our signal and dispatched a rescue vessel. They couldn't believe my report. An entire alien civilization hidden within folded space, and me, married to their queen. Diplomatic history was rewritten overnight. But politics never mattered to me. What mattered was Seraphine, and the strange, growing connection between us. She could feel my heartbeat across miles. I could sense her joy, her fear, her loneliness. One night I asked, "Do you regret it? The prophecy, the bond?" She smiled faintly. "No, because for the first time in centuries my people have hope. And for the first time in my life, I feel human." Her words struck me deeper than any wound. Years passed. The Virilians established relations with the Terran coalition. Joint research led to technology that advanced humanity by centuries. Energy harnessed from the Heartstone became the foundation of intergalactic travel. But not all was peaceful. The Kthar returned, not in armies but in whispers lurking in dark matter waiting. And every time I felt the shadows stir, the mark on my chest, the symbol of our union, glowed faintly a warning. I realized the bond wasn't just between me and Seraphine. It was a bridge between species, between light and darkness, between survival and extinction. And I bore that weight gladly. Prologue. 10 years later, I stood with Seraphine atop the rebuilt sanctum. Stars glittered in the endless void. She looked at me, her eyes softer, older. "Our daughter will rule after us," she said. "Daughter?" I turned in surprise. Seraphine smiled, placing my hand on her stomach. A new beginning, half human, half Virilian. Proof that the prophecy was true. Tears filled my eyes. I thought of Queen Sarathra, of the first words she had spoken to me, words that had once filled me with confusion, even fear. You will marry my daughter, human. I finally understood what she had meant. It wasn't a command. It was a gift, a bridge between two dying worlds. Now, as the stars pulse around us and our child grows beneath a foreign sky, I know this truth. The universe doesn't care about species or bloodlines. It cares about connection, the fragile thread that binds all living things. And sometimes, that thread begins with 5 impossible words that change everything. You will marry my daughter, human.